from Vice News, bro. Well, 3 years ago, I guess. They weren't too bad. Or as bad.
These Ethiopian domestic workers are begging people at their consulate to help them get home. They have nowhere to go after being kicked out by their employers, many of whom hadn't paid them in weeks.
She is sick and she refused to pay her. She bring her here. How can you drop a person in the street? It's haram.
Scenes like this have been playing out at consulates across the city. Foreign housemaids and child caregivers, like much of the country, have been suffering ever since Lebanon's economy collapsed late last year. But their situation has been made worse by a second crisis, an immigration policy known as kafala. Kafala, or sponsorship.
So I don't understand. If the whole country is losing jobs, then they're not supposed to lose jobs? Doesn't make any sense.
Has been part of the Arab world for decades. It's a system where migrant workers, mainly from low-income parts of Africa and Asia, are allowed into the country as long as they stay under the control of their employers. In Lebanon, where there are approximately 250,000 domestic workers, many bosses take their employees' passports and rarely give them days off. Some don't even let their workers out of the house without permission. Or worse. These videos were collected by an NGO called This Is Lebanon. Domestic workers sent them in to document physical abuse by their employers.
If you people don't help me, I've lost my life here. I don't want to lose my life. I want to go home.
Police almost never prosecute abusive bosses. On average, more than one domestic worker dies every week, according to Human Rights Watch. Many from suicide or while trying to escape. Sigaretta Brihanu used to be one of them.
We are going up, okay, to the girls?
She came to Lebanon when she was 18. Now she volunteers with an NGO started by Ethiopian domestic workers.
Hi.
Brihanu's group helped put these women up in a hotel after they were dumped on the streets by their employers. We agreed not to show their faces.
Wow.
When Brihanu came to Beirut, she was promised to be a great opportunity for her to make some money while she continued her education.
When I come to this country, the reality way different. They just took me to small room. They put me with many Ethiopian girls, and my employer, she showed up and she took my passport and she told me, you are going to my house and they are working for me. And that was tough time for me, not having day off and not having friends.
Do you think the kafala system is racist?
The kafala system is a modern day slavery, which is that control your freedom and make you to work without, having any access for anything. Having this kind of system, it's a big shame.
I don't understand though. So you signed up for a program to go work in another country. You showed up in the other country. Your employer came in and said, you're going to work at my house. Okay. And they took your passport. Okay.
Lebanese activists have been calling on the government to abolish kafala for years, but the country's bureaucracy has been slow to respond. Deputy Minister Marlene Atalla is the closest thing the government has to someone responsible for domestic worker programs. She's been at the ministry for nearly 2 decades. Lebanon has had many governments over the years. Many of these governments have criticized the kafala system, but none have done anything about it. Why is that?
موضوع نظام الكفالة بلبنان منه موضوع مهمل. بالعكس هو مثل ما بنعرف انه ما كان تنقصنا النصوص القانونية التي تحمي هذا النوع من العمل.
Investigative journalist would have done a little research into masks don't fucking work, dumbass. You look stupid as shit. They don't tell how it's going to be human trafficking for slavery in poor countries. So you think that nobody that's ever been a part of this system has reported back to their house that it's a bad system? Like once you go into the kafala system, you're not able to get word back to where you're from that other people shouldn't join it? That doesn't make any sense.
لما بيكون في هناك استغلال.
I'm not saying that it's not modern day slavery. It definitely is. But it seems like the people that are joining it don't really have another option. Because the shitty countries they're going to are better than their shitty country.
لما بيكون في حجز حرية، لما بيكون في عدم دفع الحقوق المتوجبة للعاملة. هذا الهدف الأساسي بالنسبة لنا كوزارة، أنه نحن إلغاء هذا النظام وإعطاء كافة الأجانب اللي بيشتغلوا بلبنان المساحة أنه يقدروا يدافعوا عن حقوقهم.
The former minister described it as modern-day slavery. Why isn't this a priority then for the Ministry of Labor in Lebanon?
بالنسبة لهيدا المصطلح البعض يطلق عليه نوع من العبودية الحديثة. نحن كوزارة بنرفض هيدا المصطلح أكيد، وما بنقبل ولا عاملة موجودة بلبنان إنها هي تكون عرضة لأي نوع من أنواع الاستغلال. وبتصور يمكن إذا بعض أصحاب العمل اللبنانيين يسيئون معاملة بعض العاملات، هذا لا يعني إنه كافة الشعب اللبناني هو عم بيسيء المعاملة.
If you travel to another country, do you surrender your documents, your passport? Would you give it to anyone?
No.
So are you going to get rid of the kafala system in this country?
نأمل هيدا الشيء.
A few weeks after this interview, the Ministry of Labor took its first steps, tweeting that it would issue a new contract that would guarantee domestic workers basic rights. But activist groups say it has no mechanism for enforcement and does little to address the fundamental problem of kafala, that domestic workers are treated like second-class citizens. One reason the program has survived so long is that it's also been big business. There are hundreds of recruiting agencies in Lebanon, many of them small operations, like this one that Bassam Zazali runs with his mother.
Before we go to Ethiopia,
I don't understand. Treated like second-class. You're going into a class society. You think they're going to put you at the top class? As a fucking migrant worker coming in? I don't get it.
yeah, we make advertising in all village. The far village, not in the city. We make advertising that some people are coming to see girl for work. We bring food and we make like a party. So all the village will come to see us.
Can you explain kind of how the economic crisis has affected the situation here for domestic laborers?
When I started this business, till this moment, all the time the people, they pay the salary and they pay everything, even in the war, everybody have money. But starting from 17 October last year, the people, they don't have any money. So they have big financial problem with the girl.
Is this a problem of the kafala system? That the women don't have, the right to get the money that they're owed from their employers?
The problem now in Lebanon is not the kafala. The problem is economic, it's financial problem. I have one case here now, and
It's like the maids deserve the money. And this guy's like, but yeah, the boss doesn't have any money either because the economy in Lebanon collapsed. The boss is broke. Therefore, the employees are broke. Now, why they're not letting him go home or whatever, that's maybe another story.
I'll let you talk to her. Can I call her? Okay, Sharifa. Come, Sharifa. Come here, Sharifa. Okay. Here's a girl, they call me daddy because I treated them like the father. This lady, her name Sharifa. She's coming from Ghana. She's not have been paid for 7 months. Okay? After that, they refuse to pay her. So they send her back to the office. And from my side, I pay her all her salary to make her happy and don't let her go without her money. Okay? If she don't have me in this country, she will, and don't have kafala, she will stay without her salary and she will be lost in this country.
But this hasn't been the experience of most. In a tiny apartment in Beirut, we found a group of 34 women who lost their jobs and are taking refuge. Hi. So, this is a lot of people.
Yeah, as you can see, this is the way we're stocking in one home because of this bad kafala system.
They're all domestic workers from Sierra Leone. They're stuck here indefinitely because their consulate has been shut down.
There's no like armed guards outside the apartment,
All
right?
I found in Lebanon is a nightmare. Even though I'm so poor in my country, but I never sleep in the kitchen. Even though I am so poor, but I will have my daily bread to take care of me and my family.
And was that the situation for a lot of the women here?
Of course. This other girl that was sitting.
I don't get it.
Yeah, look at her. Look at this other girl. This girl again went through the same thing. And look at this other one again. So you can see how many girls, most of we women that you see here, we have dignities in our country. It's only when we come to work here, we find ourselves like nobody. But we are somebodies in our countries.
Do you think a lot of the abuse and the mistreatment that you all have experienced in Lebanon is a result of racism?
Of course, to the highest degree that I ever think of. Because even when we walk in the street, they call us sharmuta. There is sometimes that I go through so much abuses that I'm thinking of killing myself because I think that is the only solution to my problem.
You have a family in Sierra Leone. Did you come here for them?
Of course, my baby was just 8 months old.
When you left to come here?
So go home and take care of your
I
kid.
just want to stop here. I don't want to continue.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Thank you. I hope you can get back to your children soon.
Of course, that is my prayer. I just want to go.
So she does want to go home. Why can't she go home? But why can't she go home? I don't understand what's stopping you from going home. But yeah, it definitely seems like a modern day form of indentured servitude. I don't really see anything wrong with indentured servitude, honestly. Obviously, you shouldn't be beating them or not paying them. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. So I get that the employer takes the passport when they work there so they don't run out on the job, I guess, is why they take it. I'm not sure why they take it in the first place. But once they can't pay the employee and the employee is no longer working for them and they're shacking up in an apartment with 34 people, the employer is still keeping their documents? And what do they need the passport for? Like, their country won't let them back in if they don't have their passport? I don't know. They're prisoners because they don't have paperwork? I don't know about all that one. I don't know about that one. Shitty situation, though. Definitely a shitty situation. Definitely a shitty situation. Maybe they should have paid the Mexican cartel 10 grand to come across the American border. And then they could be second-class citizens here. Maybe that'd be better. All countries have classes of citizens. That's why we got poor people, we have middle class, we have elites. Still classes. If you come over as a migrant worker to America, you're going to have to work your way up to middle class. We might be back tomorrow. We might not. I don't know. But come check us out, 2 o'clock, rumble.com/McClures. The best place to be. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Later, bye.